The international threat from ISIS continues to grow. A defensive coalition is solidifying, which involves American airstrikes. But how could it impact Virginians? NBC 29's Alana Austin went looking for answers and has details from our state capitol newsroom. Good evening, Alana.
Good evening, Steve. And today we spoke with U.S. Senator Tim Kaine. In all of this, he could be a key player in future American policy-making choices. Now, he says that in representing Virginia, a state that has a high concentration of service members, he feels that at this point it would be unfair to ask them to risk their lives for yet another war. America is a war-weary nation. While U.S. military and political leadership have condemned the escalating violence of ISIS, a festering militant terror group, the mainstream line of thinking still holds back full-scale involvement.
1.7 million Americans serve, and so there's, 1.7 million American families that have a personal connection to this.
Democratic U.S. Senator Tim Kaine, who previously served as governor of Virginia, has introduced a law that would unleash military force against ISIS with limits.
So that the men and women that we're asking to wage this campaign know that they have the support of the American political leadership behind them.
Kaine envisions continuing airstrikes, arming partners on the ground, and humanitarian relief. Yet he remains firmly against boots on the ground. Not only does he see America serving as the so-called world police as inappropriate, but also a potential failure.
There's no amount of U.S. ground troops that can, in Iraq and Syria, defeat this menace. We can keep them from invading the United States, but we're not going to be able to win a ground war in Iraq and Syria.
The resolution on the table also puts the White House in check.
I strongly believe that we should not be doing this without a congressional authorization.
While President Obama has outwardly denied interest in boots on the ground, he also calls ISIS a cancer that's infiltrating the Middle East and that could destabilize the greater geopolitical climate.
The only language understood by killers like this is the language of force.
Also in Senator Kaine's resolution, it includes something called a sunset provision. That means that after a year, the entire strategy would be revisited. He says that, of course, he would not support America and Virginians' continuing involvement in a losing effort.
Alana Austin live in our state capitol newsroom this evening.